So in the last episode, we were able to create our first Next.js app, and also we saw some reasons why we actually need Next.js. So in this episode, we'll start exploring some of those features, and I want us to take a look at this pages folder. So this pages folder is very unique in Next.js because it is the one that provides the inbuilt routing system that comes with Next.js. So let us take a look at what we already have in this particular pages folder. The first thing that you'll see is the API folder. And with the Next.js, you can be able to create API routes inside this API folder. And when I look at this hello.js, you'll see that we can be able to create a route handler and so on and return something to the client. So in this particular course, we'll be using Contentful for all our backend data. So for now, we'll not take a look at our APIs folder. So I'll just ignore it for now. And then we have underscore app.js. And in underscore app.js, this is like the root of the application. And we don't usually do much here. All we do is include the global CSS. You can also include the global state and also include a layout which will be persistent in all the pages. And all we have here is a function. The component here represent each page that we'll be creating, and then the page props represent the initial props that Next.js will provide by default. So we don't need to do anything here for now. So I'll also cancel this. And then let's take a look at index.js. Now index.js is now the home page of our application. And when we run the application, this is the first page that we will see. And when you look at it, we are importing a head component from a head, image component from image. These are provided by Next. And image here is good for optimizing the images. And then the head component is very awesome for SEO. We can include the title, custom meta tags, and also some links. For example, right here we have a link to the favicon, and this favicon is coming from the public folder. So when you include assets here, you can easily load them anywhere in the application. And we can be able to customize each page to have its own head, to have its own title and meta tags, which is really awesome for SEO. And then we have just some content which comes by default in Next.js, and we can run this application and see what we have at the moment. So to run this application, it's so easy. You need to go to your terminal. You can open VS Code terminal if you want, and make sure that you are inside the application folder, okay? And then right here you can now run npm run dev, and this will start a script which is already in package.json file. So if I click package.json, we have this script right here, dev, which will run next dev, and that is what will be executed when we run this command. So when I hit enter, this should start our application at localhost 3000. It has already started and compiled successfully, so I can copy this link and go to the browser and then paste it and hit enter. And now you'll see that this is what we currently have. If we inspect this, you'll see that at the head here, we have the meta tags, create next app, the title, and so on. And these are provided by our head component right here. So we will be creating our own page and adding a head component, and then we'll be including our own title and meta tag, and that will be really powerful because that doesn't come with the React by default, okay? So now how do we create different pages in Next.js? So when I add a new file in pages right here, and I can call it about and then .js. Now this about.js can be a functional component. So I can say about, and then right here, let's include a h2, and we can say about. Now, the cool thing with the Next.js is that when you include any file in this particular pages folder, that file automatically becomes a route or a page, okay? So now this is now the about page. It will display a different screen altogether. And how do we access it? So how we access that page is by coming right here and including a /about. And then when we visit that page, we should load that particular component or page, and there we go. Now the cool thing, when you look at the head right now, we don't have the title and some other custom meta tags, and we can include them using that head component which Next.js provide. So what I can do, I can come to index.js and I can copy this head component, and then I'll come to about, and let's actually wrap everything here inside a React fragment. So I can include a React fragment just like this. Let me move this one in here and maybe remove that, and then now I can include a head just before anything else, and then I save. Now right here I can say about page. So let me replace all this with about page. Notice how I also like edited this, and then I'll save that. And now when I come to the browser, head is not defined, so we need to import head from Next. So right here, let's do that. So I'll say import a head, and this will come from Next. Let's copy this one. I'll paste it. So this is the right way to import that head component, and now when I save, that error should disappear, and it disappeared. And the cool thing now is that let me refresh. We should be having now the title here and so on. So when I load this one, now you see we have the title, about page, we have the meta tag, and you can include other meta tags to customize this page's SEO. So this is one of the reasons why Next is so awesome when it comes to SEO and so on. Okay, now this index.js, as I told you, is a home page. So whenever you visit these without slash anything, you are visiting the home page. And another cool thing is that we can include folders right here. So if I add a folder, I can say about, I hit enter, and then I can take this file and move it to the about folder. So now inside the about folder, we have the about.js. Now to load this about.js, we need to go to stroke about and then stroke about again for us to get to it. So now when I come back, and if we go to stroke about, we will get a 404 error. It will say that it didn't find anything, therefore that will be an error, and you can see that. So we need to go to stroke about. Now this is the folder, and then we need to specify the file. So I'll say stroke about, and then when I hit enter, you'll see that now we can load that file. Now if you want to just go to stroke about just like this, what you can do is that you can include an index.js file right here. So I can say index.js, and then now I'll take the content of the about. So I'll copy everything that we have here, and then in index.js, I can paste it here. And then for the about here, let's rename everything. Let's say we want to include about for different people, maybe in our company, and one of that person is me. So I'll say Chaoo.js, and then inside the component, I will replace about with a Chaoo. So I can use Ctrl D to select all the abouts in the page, and I'll say Chaoo. So I'll save that, and then in index.js right here, which is inside our about folder, I'll also save it. Now the cool thing is that when we go to our base URL stroke about, we will load this index.js by default. So if I come right here to the about, if I hit enter, it will load that index.js. So we get about. Okay, and now you can say that this is the the home page for the about or something. Now how do we load a Chaoo.js right here? How we load Chaoo.js is we say about, and then we say stroke Chaoo, and then when I hit enter, that will load a Chaoo page, and there we go. Okay, and now when you look at our title, you see now it's Chaoo page and it's no longer the about page. So this is so powerful because this is done out of the box. You don't have to configure anything, unlike in React where you need to use something like a React router DOM. And now how do we link pages? So I can come to index.js, and let's add a link to go to Chaoo. So how we can do that? We can include a link component which is provided by Next. So I click on this one, and right here I can say Chaoo. So when we click this, it will go to the Chaoo page, and therefore we can include a href. I'll include a string, and I can say stroke about, and then stroke Chaoo, and this will load now our Chaoo page right here. So I'll save that, and let's see what we have. So now when we go to about, so I'll remove this one, hit enter, we go to about. Now we have this link right here. When I click on it, it will take us to Chaoo. So when I click on this one, it takes us to Chaoo. And that is how you can like add links between pages. We have this link component which Next.js provide by default, and we also have a hook which is called the useRouter hook. Okay, and we can make use of that useRouter hook to take someone to a page or something. So right here we can like import the useRouter hook. So I'll say import useRouter, and this will come from Next.router. And for this hook we need to like initialize it, so we can say const router will be equal to useRouter, and we invoke it. Okay, now we can make use of this router to like take someone to a different page. So let's say we want to still take the user here to Chaoo. This time round I can include a button, so I'll say button and I'll say Chaoo. Now for this button, for us to go here, we will use an onClick event, and then in this onClick I can use an arrow function, and I can call router dot push, and then inside this push we can include the path. So I can say stroke about and then stroke Chaoo. So this will still work. This is like an alternative. So when I save that, I can come back to the about page. So I'll go to about, and now we have two things. We have this one and we have a button. So when I click the button, it should still take us to Chaoo. So I click the button and there we go. So you have two options when it comes to like linking the pages. You can make use of the useRouter, or you can make use of the link component. And it's obvious that the link right here is easier to use, but now the router object here comes in handy when you have a function and you don't want to include any JSX, so you can just call it and push the user to that specific page. And it also have some other awesome methods like the back method, which will take us back to the previous page, and some other cool stuff. So you can check the useRouter hook on the documentation to learn more about it. So for now, let's like test the back method. So I can say back, and then now right here we don't need to include anything. I think we just need to invoke it, and then now right here I can just say back. Okay, and what this will do is that it will take us back to the previous page which we came from. So I'll save this one, and to begin with, let's start by going to the home page. So this is like the home page right there, and then now let's visit the about page. And once we are at the about page, when we click back, we should go back to the home page. So I click back, and we go back to the home page. So you see it has very awesome methods which we can make use of to navigate through the application. Now so far so good, and what I want to show you next is about what we call the dynamic routes. So we can use dynamic routes to like load a specific page depending on the ID of the request. So what I'll do, inside the pages folder, I can add a new folder called post, and then inside the post folder I can add a new file. So we'll be having like blog posts, right? So inside the post folder we can include a file which will help us to load the details of each blog post. So right here I can include like square brackets, and then right here you can pass the ID of each blog post, and then you end with .js. So this is like the format. Okay, and then when I hit enter, you can create the post component right here. So I'll use a shortcut here and then call it post, and now right here I can include, let's start with the React fragments. In here I can include a h2, and okay, h2 like that, and I can say post details, and then I'll save that. Okay, now this will be like details for each blog post which we want to like visit. Now how do we like access it using our routing system? So we are at homepage right now. So if we visit post, I think we should get an error, a 404 error. So if we say just post, that should give us an error. So we have 404, the page was not found. So for us to load a specific post from here, we need to include a parameter or the ID of that post. So I can say stroke, let the ID be just a random number, and I hit enter. So now that we load that particular page. And as you can see, now we have post details, and all we did, we included this stroke and then a random number, and now this random number will be used as the ID, and you can use that ID to load details from the database or from the API for a specific post, okay? And you can be able to access that ID from this particular page. So you can either use the useRouter hook to access the ID, or you through the methods that Next.js provides, that is get static props, get server-side props, you can also be able to access the ID. For now, let's try to make use of the useRouter to access the ID. So if I go to the routing here, dynamic routes, you'll see that you just import useRouter, and then now right here, you can be able to use router.query to get the ID. So I'll just like copy this, and then I'll come back right here and I'll paste it just before the return statement, and right here I'll get the ID, and we need to import useRouter from Next.router. So let's import it right here, and now we invoke it like this, and we can be able to access the ID like this. So right here, if I include full colon, and then let's load the ID and show it on the UI like that, okay? So if I come back and go to our localhost right here, you'll see that we can be able to load that ID. Now you can use this ID to fetch data and so on. Maybe you can use effect, or you can do anything really, okay? And now right here, I can also change the ID. Maybe it's a random string. When I hit enter, you'll see that we get a random string right here. Okay, that is like really powerful. So what we will be doing, we will be including a slug. So a slug is something that will be coming from the title, like so something like React -and shopping cart for a specific post details, and therefore we'll be able to like load it like this. So it's not a must like you name this as ID, so you can like replace it with a slug or any other variable that will make sense. And then now right here, we will have to like destructure slug from router.query. So I'll destructure slug, and then right here we can load the slug. So this will still work, okay? So I'll save that, and when we come back right here, you see it is still work. And when we remove the cart and hit enter, it should now remove the cart from here. So this is so awesome, and we'll be using that slug to get a specific post, and we will see how we will do that. So I think this video is now long enough, and just to summarize, every file that you include in the pages folder becomes a route, okay? And that will become like a different page. You can access it by using stroke the name of that page, and if it's inside a folder, you say stroke the name of the folder and then stroke the name of the file. Not unless it's just an index file like this, you'll just include stroke the name of the folder, and then it will automatically load index.js inside that particular folder. And how you link between different pages, you can use the link. You can use the link component from Next.js, or you can make use of the useRouter hook from React Router. So those are like the two main options that Next.js provides. So that is it for this video. And in the next video, what we will do, we will create a layout for our blog. We will create the navbar, the footer, and then the content section, and we'll see how we can use the styles folder right here to include some styles and other options that we can use to style our Next.js application. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you support my content by subscribing, like the video. It really helps to like boost it. And also you can join the channel as a member at just 49 cents, and then you'll get cool badges, and they'll appear when you leave a comment. And this is just a way to like support my content, okay? I'm trying to like grow this channel, and I know with your help we can like move very far. And that's it for this video, and I'll see you on the next one.